This is the Louis T. Network.
The Redskins Report.
Welcome, all my fellow Redskin brethren and sistren. I am your man and resident Redskins fan, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on the program. We got to talk. And anytime I say that, you know what follows isn't going to be positive. So I'm not going to keep you here long at all. And I mean that sincerely because there's not a lot to talk about right now. But I want to say this at the top of the show so that you know, and I hope you can join me because I want you there. I want your input. I want you to be there when I'm there so we can have this open forum. That's what I'm going to entitle this Redskins Report, Open Forum, Friday night. And I know you got better things to do on your Friday night than sit here and chat it up with me about our 3-7 Redskins, but I'll be here. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. sharp. I'm going live. Leave your comments at the bottom. I can see them. I will read them on the air. We will discuss them. I have things to break down. I have things to talk about. If you want to send me a message via Twitter, I will get that as well. The Twitter account is in the lab room the Twitter account is in the lab room. And if you want to send me an email while I'm live, email is in the lab room at gmail.com. So if you want to send me something via Twitter, in the lab room is the Twitter handle. If you want to send me a message via email, in the lab room at gmail.com is the email. If you want to send me something via the video, just leave a comment at the bottom of the video. I will stroll down. I will read comments. If it's something that I think is worthy of talking about on air and discussing, we will discuss it. Everything's fair game. You got something you want to say, I want to hear it. Let's just talk about it. Let's discuss it. So there's a lot to talk about. There's so many layers to comb through, and I had a feeling this would happen. All of this would come to a head at the beginning of the season when I went on my rant and I told Robert to stop talking. You guys remember that before the season started, I said Robert just needs to shut the hell up. And obviously, he didn't take my advice, but it seems like these days he's not taking anybody's advice. He's just running his mouth, saying way too much at the end of football games, throwing people under the bus, not taking accountability on himself and saying that, hey, it was me, I have to be better. It's always we. It's never I. It's never I didn't get it done. I need to be better. It's we have to get better. No, you have to be better. And I went about this all the wrong way because I felt like he's a young man, very mature for his age, but I felt like he got it. He would understand eventually that you can't say certain things in the media. They're going to throw it in your face. It's going to start a controversy and a firestorm, and he just doesn't seem to get that. So I was always told this, and a very wise woman, my grandma, told me this: those who don't hear, they feel. And so he's going to feel the wrath and the backlash of all of the things that he said. And Santana Moss did a very candid interview on the LeVar Arrington and Duke's show. If you haven't had a chance to hear it, I'm probably going to play that audio on Friday night. If you haven't had a chance to hear that audio, I think it's a telling piece of audio. I think it's what needs to be said by somebody in that locker room. It's how I've felt the entire time. It's how you have felt as Redskins fans the entire time about Robert Griffin III and him running his mouth and him not taking accountability and standing up as a leader of this team. And so I think Santana Moss hit it exactly on the head. Everything that needed to be said. If you haven't heard that piece of audio, please do yourself a favor. Treat yourself to some really good stuff. Santana Moss laying it out, all out on the table and saying this is what needs to happen. This is how it should be handled and how it shouldn't be handled. And so, look, I should be talking about the Eagles game, but frankly, there's not a lot to talk about. So I'm going to break this game down best way I know how and get out of here. And you'll see, if you look back on the board, not a lot there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Doesn't matter. As long as you can hear the sound of my voice, that's all that matters. But there's not a lot there. and I'll tell you why. And like I said, I'll break this down quickly. We'll get out of here. I want to see you on Friday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. For all of you who are West Coast, Central, Mountain, doesn't matter. Want to see you here. If you've got a voice, if you've got something to get off your chest, if it matters, we're going to talk about it here on this open forum on Friday night. And I've got a lot of things to discuss, as I will be live on Friday night talking Redskins football and the state of this franchise, because there's a lot of nonsense going on right now. A lot of nonsense that could be avoidable that has come to the surface because people don't know, and I'm mainly talking about Robert Griffin III, don't know how to choose their words wisely, and they've put us in a really S-storm, and now we got to find a way to dig ourselves out of it. This is a big game we got coming up. Not for the season. The season's done. We're not making the playoffs. I christened the season done when we lost to Minnesota on Thursday Night Football. So that loss against Philadelphia, it just was the nail in the coffin. Now, mathematically, we're not eliminated yet, but who cares about any of that mathematical nonsense? We're done. But this is about pride. This is about not giving the Rams a number 7 pick in the draft. This is about us going out and showing that we're not dead yet. This is about saving Mike Shanahan's job. There's a lot that goes into this. And I know some of you don't want to hear that. You don't want Shanahan back. That's hogwash. And I'm going to tell you what. On Friday, I'm going to air all of you guys out who think that you know, but you have no idea what's going on in Washington. I'm going to air everything out. And whether you like it, you don't like it, you will respect what I'm saying on Friday. But let's get to the board real quick so we can get out of here. I'm not keeping you long, like I said. Washington Redskins, Philadelphia Eagles. Skins come in at 3-6. Eagles come into the game at 5-5. I'll make this very quick, short, and sweet, and you'll see why here in a second. Personal foul. We got the ball first. You know that makes me a very, very disappointed man. I do not want the ball first in any given game for any reason. Doesn't matter, but you can't win them all. Personal foul, roughing the passer on Robert Griffin III gives us an early start to our drive. Then an end around for Garcon for a 9-yard gain. He gets injured on the play, hurts his ankle. I'll talk about that here in a second. But he gets up, he comes back in the game. He's a warrior. You know how Pierre does. AM for 9, then 11. Robert misses a wide open Paulson. And let's stop and talk about that for a second. This was the tone setter right here. This missed opportunity. Logan Paulson, the lumberjack, was wide open. And when I say wide open, you don't get any more open in the National Football League than this. Okay, right now, this is the difference between us this year and last year. Last year, this pass right here, 37-yard touchdown pass, 47-yard touchdown pass, whatever it is. This year, Robert misses this guy by about 10 yards. It's not even close. I don't even know what the hell was going on that play. I don't know how you miss a guy that wide open when you're not under duress. How you miss a wide open receiver that bad. I heard Chris Cooley say maybe Logan didn't get the proper depth on the route because it was a corner route. And when you come out of a corner route, you're supposed to be going up at an angle, not flat towards the sideline. You're supposed to be going up toward the pylon in the end zone. Doesn't matter. Either way, that pass was egregious. You can't throw it any worse than Robert did on that play. I don't know what the hell was going on that play and how he managed to mishandle that throw as poorly as he did, but he did, and it was a bad sight, and it was essentially the tone setter for this game offensively in the passing game for us for the first 3 quarters of this game. So that was a huge miss. And that's the difference between Nick Foles and Robert Griffin III right now. Nick Foles was a rookie last year, and he came in, made some mistakes. We took advantage of him. We beat the Eagles twice last season. He's hitting his throw. This is a throw Nick Foles is hitting with his eyes closed in his sleep right now. Robert, on the other hand, still struggling to make these kind of throws this year, and that's frustrating because we know he can make this throw. He made this throw last year consistently. This year, consistently, he's missing this throw. But anyway, we have to punt the football. Foles hits Jackson for a 19-yard gain. Then a personal foul is tacked on by E.J. Biggers. So Eagles moving the football. They're trying to get into scoring range. Rack with some pressure on 3rd and 11 forces a holding call. The Eagles ultimately have to punt the football, so the defense gets off the field early in the game. Hey, how about that? That's rare for our defense to get off the field early and not put us in a hole. But they did that after we weren't able to score. Great special teams by the Eagles down at the 2. You can say great special teams by the Eagles if you like. You can say whatever you like. Yeah, but I prefer to say bad special teams by the Redskins because we didn't catch the ball. I remember Bill Parcells saying something that was very profound to me, and it stuck with me in terms of special teams. He said, one thing I don't want my punt returners doing is letting the ball hit the ground. I remember watching an NFL Films clip on Bill Parcells when he was the coach of the Jets, and he had Dedrick Ward back there. Some of you probably remember exactly what I'm talking about. And he had Dedrick Ward back there, who was a rookie at the time, fielding punts, and he was on him like white on rice, and he was like, look, man, I don't care what you do as a return man, but if you're going to return punts for me, you got to catch the football. He said, and then he went back to his Giants days and how one of his return men, I forget his name, but it was a windy day against the Bears in the playoffs. You know what game I'm talking about. And he saved the Giants so many yards of field position by going up and catching the football and not allowing it to bounce and hit the ground and get, deep into their territory and having to start drives at the 5, the 3, and the 7, and the 11. He caught the football, and it was windy, and it was tough, and he still went out and made catches and stopped the football from hitting the ground. And that was Bill Parcells' biggest thing. Don't let the football hit the ground unless you have to. Unless it's inside the 5 and you're supposed to let it hit the ground, don't let the football hit the ground. Well, Nick Williams, first game, and I'm not mad at Nick. I'm not mad at Nick. He's got some bad coaching with Keith Burns, who's telling him nonsense and putting a whole bunch of garbage in his ear. And then left-footed kicker, he wants to just make sure he didn't make a mistake because he bobbled a couple in this game. Dropped one inbounds, dropped one out of bounds. So this one, he let it go. It bounces down to the 2. Eagles make a great play on special teams down and inside the 2. And this is a stunning fact right here about our Redskins. The Redskins, right now, 9 possessions after forcing a punt have started inside the 5-yard line. That's mind-boggling. Number one, we don't force a lot of punts, okay? Our defense doesn't force the other team to punt the football that often. So let's just look at it like this. Let's just be hypothetical here. And again, hypothetically speaking means that I don't know the facts. I don't know the numbers. Let's just say on the season, we forced a team to punt the football 27 times, all right? 9 of those times when they punt the football, they down the football inside of the 5-yard line, and we've had to start a drive inside our own 5-yard line. Do you know how bad? That's 33% of the time, if that is even close to being accurate. That is crazy. What other team in the league is starting inside their own 5-yard line as much as us? That's a hallmark of a bad special teams unit right there. I mean, you can probably go a good 5 or 6 game stretch without starting in your own 5-yard line or less. I mean, teams do that. Not us. Obviously, we stink on special teams. But anyway, we get the ball at the 2-yard line. Robert runs for 14, then for 5. AM for 4 yards. Then DY gets the first down. Robert then goes again for a 4-yard gain. AM gets 6, and we move the sticks once again. Then AM is stopped for a 2-yard loss. And right here, I want to stop for a second. All of that running I just told you. Let's count the runs in a row. Robert for 14, that's 1. Then 5, that's 2. AM for 4, that's 3. DY gets a run, that's 4. Then Robert again for 4, that's 5. Then AM run, that's 6, and another first down. 6 consecutive runs. Moving the football. Okay, great. Don't you think it's time? It's time. It's time. It's play, action, fake, time. Don't you think it's time for a play, action, fake? I know the Eagles defense had to be thinking, I know play, action, fake is coming at some point. But just in case it doesn't, how about we load up the box for the run? That's a really good idea, Philadelphia. Look what they do. Stop AM for a loss or 2. Then, because it's now 2nd and long, guess what you got to do? You can't run AM again on 2nd and 12 for the 8th consecutive time with a running play. No, you got to throw the ball now. Don't you think the Eagles know that now after stopping us when we should have ran play action fake on first down? What do? They send the dogs. Guess what? Sack. Now you got to punt the football because it's 3rd and long. We're not going to pick it up. So we punt the football. Another solid drive. And this is what happens to us all too often. When you start at your 5-yard line, when you start at your 2-yard line, you know what that does? It makes you have to go 98 yards for a touchdown. You know what that does? That makes you have to sustain offense for a longer period of time than, say, if you got the ball at the 29-yard line. This drive might have produced a field goal attempt if you didn't start at your own 2-yard line. But because you do, and say you rack up 50 yards like we did on this possession, but because you started your own 2, you only get to the 48-yard line. You get sacked and you have a 2-yard loss. You're back at your own 40. You got to punt the football, man. And that's the problem with what we're doing right now. We aren't giving ourselves a chance. Not many teams in the league are going to go 13 plays, 15 plays, 98 yards and score a touchdown. Only elite offenses can stay out of their own way long enough unless you're getting chunk plays, and you know we don't get chunk plays. As you can see, we're scratching and clawing and grinding just for little gains on the ground. We were dominating this game on the ground in the first half. We weren't throwing the football, and maybe Kyle said, you know what, Robert is off. That pass to Paulson might have scared him. I mean, it scared the hell out of me. I mean, he was so far off on that pass. Wowzers. Then you drop back the pass again and you get sacked. So maybe I just need to stick to the run. And that's what he did in the first half. Unfortunately, we didn't get any points out of it. However, I'm not done yet. Even though that drive ended in a sack and a punt, let's move on. Eagles haven't scored yet. We've had 2 drives that have moved the football, but both resulting in punts because we can't sustain offense. Zach Ertz for 16. Just let me say this. It's only a matter of time before our defense gives it up. You know that. Zach Ertz for 16. Then McCoy for 49 yards down to the 4-yard line. Leads to a Nick Foles 4-yard touchdown. 7-0. Eagles take the lead. Okay, they're on the board. We need to respond. We need to do something. Offense right now is primarily run heavy. We need to start using play action fakes, some bootleg, something to get Robert out of the pocket, something to loosen up this Eagles defense, something to get us jump started and start getting some chunk plays. So AM for 9, and he went out of bounds on this play. We caught a break. Referee got knocked down on the play that should have seen him go out of bounds. So AM, Headsy, runs, and he didn't know the official got knocked down. He just thought he didn't go out of bounds, so he kept running, got 9 yards. We hurry up, get to the line of scrimmage, run a play before they can challenge. And so we get a freebie right there. Then Tanner man, and it doesn't matter because every time we hurry up and try to run, every time we try to be deceptive and sneaky, think we're getting away with something, and we get to the line quickly, we're not the Patriots. When the Patriots or the Broncos get to the line quickly and snap the football, they usually get the first down if they get a 9-yard gain and it's a freebie. When we do it, we lose a yard or 2. And that's what we did on this play. We hurry up, we got to the line, did a handoff. Eagles stop us for about a 2-yard loss. Now it's 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3 yields us the Tanner man with a drop on 3rd down. We got to punt the football. And the Tanner man, I love him to death. He's been dropping the football a lot this year, and he had another drop on this particular possession. We had to punt the football. So we just can't get out of our own way. And guess what? Now we got to punt the ball to the Eagles. What do you think they're going to do when they get the ball? I wonder. Let's see. Foles for 13. Look, I know the guy is slow as molasses, okay? I know this guy isn't someone that you expect. He's not Michael Vick. This isn't the Vick experience. I get it. You still got to account for this man, though. Stop allowing this dude in his 5'140" to pick up chunks of yardage. We're supposed to be around waiting to smash this guy if he decides to run. 13 for Foles. He already hit us for a 4-yard touchdown run. Respect the man. McCoy for 9, then 4 more. And that's a first down, and that's the end of the first quarter. Look at this first play of the second quarter. Check this out. First play of the second quarter, 42-yard screen to Brent Selleck. A nice little tight end screen on your head. Boop! 42 yards, down to the 1-yard line, and we had to have that overturned by replay because they marked it a touchdown. Came back, his knee was down at the 1-yard line, probably looked more like the 2-yard line. But anyway, doesn't matter. They're at the 1. This isn't the San Diego Chargers. We're not putting up a goal line stand. Just to make sure you know that we're not putting up a goal line stand. First play after that screen, Shady McCoy walks in the end zone with a hole the size of the state of Texas. Walks in the end zone. Hey, it's 14-0. All right. So, game slipping away, folks. Game slipping away. Fellas, hey, woo-hoo, wake up. 14-0. Let's do something offensively. This is really starting to get ugly. This is for me, I don't know about you. For me, this was really starting to get uncomfortable. I'm not having fun on my couch on Sunday afternoon. This isn't fun for me. Watching the Redskins is fun for me every week. Win, lose, or draw, I enjoy watching my boys go out and give it their all. This is not fun. I'm not enjoying myself. I feel like a 5-year-old kid at a birthday party that's not fun. I want to go home. I want to go home. I wasn't having fun at this point. Do something, please. Help me. I felt like I was a prisoner. Help me, please. Hank, gain of 5. He gets injured. Hank always seems to look awkward when he gets tackled. Always. He always seems like he's about to hurt his hip or his leg. He goes down. We find out later it's an LCL injury. We're not sure if he's going to need surgery or not. If he does, season's over for Hank. And that's disappointing because he was starting to come on. He was a guy that we could rely on. Throw the football to him. He'd catch it, try to make something happen. So that's going to be a devastating blow to this offense if, in fact, he needs surgery. Even if he doesn't need surgery and it's just a strain, he's going to be out for a number of games anyhow. They might just shut him down anyway. So we might have seen the last of Leonard Hankerson in 2013. But Garcon for 7, and that nets us a first down. AM for 9. Then Robert for 4. That's another first down. Then Robert for 9. Roy Halou Jr. for 14. Another first down. Then our one and only Jay Reed siding. He gets us 12. Ends up getting a concussion. Leaves the football game. Or he at least had concussion-like symptoms, and they had to test him for concussion. He didn't come back, so that lets you know he probably had a concussion. And so don't know his status for the 49ers game. Being that we have an extra day, it's a Monday night matchup, maybe he'll be back. We're certainly going to need him if we're going to have any chance of winning that game. Then, just when you thought we had some hope, just when you thought it was safe, third down, Roy Halou Jr. misses a horrible attempt at a cut block. I mean, you can't do it much worse than that. And he's supposed to be one of our better, more reliable blockers on third down. That was a piss-poor attempt at a block on Connor Barwin, who gets in, hits Robert as he's trying to throw the football. Ball goes up in the air. They ruled it a fumble. I thought it was an interception. Doesn't matter. Falls into the arms of Fletcher Cox. Eagles take over. We were at their 12-yard line. At that point, all hope was lost. This is when you know it's bad for me, okay? I started turning to NFL Network to watch their coverage of all the rest of the games. And they're doing the play-by-play radio thing, and you see all the scores and where the other... You know, I play in a football pool, so my attention and my focus left the Redskins game, and I never turn to television. When the Redskins are on, I watch the commercials, everything. I don't turn the TV. The TV isn't moving from the station, normally Fox, when the game's on. Not today. Not in this game. I was so distraught. This felt eerily similar to those 4-12, 5-11 years. This felt like Vinny Serrato. This felt like Jim Zorn. This felt really bad. This felt like a bad football team. And you know, we are a bad football team. This felt bad. Like I said, I was uncomfortable. This wasn't fun for me. So I turned to TV. Man, we were bad. I mean, it was bad for 3 quarters. And that's where I stopped taking notes. There was no reason for me to take notes anymore. It was hopeless. Eagles go down, score another touchdown, tackle on a field goal. It's 24-0 in this game. I mean, we're just going through the motions at this point. Robert can't even complete a simple 4th-and-1 pass to Logan Paulson out in the flats. I mean, it's bad. You know, it's bad. Like Jill Scott says, I mean, sometimes it's bad. It was bad. And I really didn't know how I felt about this other than this is bad. This is bad football. And the one thing I can't stand, I'm a football fan first and foremost. I'm a football fan. I'm a Redskins fan, but first and foremost, I enjoy watching good, quality NFL football. Above anything else, I want to see good football. This was bad football. I don't know what else to say. I stopped taking notes. My interest in the game waned. I knew we weren't going to win. And even when we started to mount a comeback, we get the Darrell Young touchdown. DY catches the pass, splits the defenders, 62 yards, touchdown. We get the 2-point conversion to Nick Williams. I like Nick Williams. I've told you this before. I like him. I saw him in the preseason. He flashed. He's going to be the new Santana Moss for us. Whenever Santana is done in Washington, Nick Williams will be able to step in and fill that role. I think he runs great routes. He's a small guy, so he gets in and out of his breaks quickly. He'll be an asset for us down the road. I like Nick Williams. Don't you shun him away because of what he did on special teams. Give him a shot on special teams. He's the best thing we got on special teams as far as a punt returner. May not look like it, but I'm telling you right now, he's the best thing we got at punt return. But I digress. He catches the 2-point conversion. All of a sudden, it's a 16-point game. You know how the Eagles throttle it down when they're blowing us out. I can't speak for what they do against other teams. When they play against us, they try to throttle it down, eat up the clock, and they really go into a shell offensively. We were able to get 5 consecutive stops, which helps us get another touchdown. A broken play, Aldrick Robinson comes back for an underthrown Robert Griffin III pass. Catches it. It was a phenomenal catch by Aldrick. I don't understand why this guy doesn't play more. I just don't. I mean, he's got speed. You can't teach that. And remember when he came in against New Orleans? I mean, the guy had a dynamite game last year. First game of the season. We had an injury to Pierre Garçon. Remember that? Leonard Hankerson was in there. Josh Morgan was in there. But the star of the game to me, after Garçon went down with that injury, it was Aldrick Robinson. The guy can play football. And he's got speed. And he threatens the defense. Something that nobody else outside of Pierre Garçon does with speed. Put him on the field more. I mean, he made a phenomenal catch. And I understand, he might not know all the plays and he didn't get all of this and get all of that. And Mike gives us the old nonsense about, oh, he's behind Pierre Garçon and Pierre is always on the field. Shut up. Put him on the field. I don't care. I don't care. Put him on the field. And he made a play. Great catch. Off the shoe tops. 14-24. We go for 2. It's rare in this league to pick up 2 2-point conversions in one game, but we did it. Robert gets it in on the QB draw. 16-24. Wow, we're down only 8. But I never, for 1 second, thought we were going to come back and win this game. And you can say what you want. Oh, you're an optimist, a pessimist and all this and that. Sure, you say what you want. I've been preconditioned as a Redskins fan to think the worst. Think the worst, hope for the best. That's what I do every Sunday. I expect to lose going into the football game because we're not a good football team, and I hope that we win. But I expect to lose. I don't allow myself to get all riled up and get all excited, filled with untapped and unfilled hope and potential. I don't allow myself to go in, expect to win, and get let down when we come out and lay a stinker, lay an egg, and get beat up. I don't allow myself to do that anymore. I did that at the beginning of the season because they had rewired my brain to think that we were actually good and that we would actually be competitive and win football games. But you see that this team is not. And so I've been reverted back to my old ways of thinking. As a Redskins fan that has endured a lot of losing over the years, I expect to lose and hope that the team wins. Well, I expect us to still lose even though we're making a furious comeback. I expect us to lose. You know why? Because we're the Washington Redskins. When do we come back from 24 points down to tie the game? Forget about winning, to just tie the game. When do we come back and do that? We don't. Right, you're right, we don't. So why should I feel like this is going to be any different? So we get the football back, we get another stop, we get the football back, and Robert proceeds to drive us down the field. Probably his best drive of the game because, I mean, he made some good throws. He missed Aldrick on a touchdown in the end zone, overshot him. But, I mean, he made that play to Santana, that throw. I mean, can't throw it any better than that on 3rd and 25. I mean, he made some stick throws. The throw to Garçon for a 9-yard gain, can't throw it much better. I mean, he made some really good throws on that drive. Used his legs a couple of times. He did what he had to do on that possession. But at the end of the day, we're the Redskins. And Robert ended this game the way that it's supposed to end when you're a Redskins fan. With a feeble attempt at throwing the football away in the back of the end zone. You do know you can throw it away out to the sidelines as well, too, right? You don't have to chuck it, 40 yards off your back foot and not get enough on it and throw a pick, right? And I don't know if that's what he was trying to do, throw it away or not. I don't know. I just don't know. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he throws it up for grabs. It's picked off by Brandon Boykins and gets a gift. Game over. Go home. We lose again. 3-7. Eagles get the win. Go to 6-5. Sole possession of first place in the NFC East. Kudos to them for putting up a good performance and getting it done. I can't take anything away from them. We're a bad football team, and they beat a bad football team. Hats off to them. But after the game is what pissed me off. And I could discuss this right now, but I'm not. I'm going to save it for Friday, 9 p.m. sharp. You be there or be square. I'm going to discuss every single thing. And I mean everything. I'm laying it all out on the table. And we'll have an open forum. Please join me if you see this video. Redskins fan or not, I don't give a damn. You could be an Eagles fan, Giants fan, Cowboys fan. You could just come to laugh. I don't give a damn. But it's going to be there. I'm going to be there. And I hope that you're there too. So I'm a Redskins fan, etched in burgundy and gold. Redskins spirit never dies. My Redskins spirit never falls. Until we meet again, hail to the Redskins. I'll see you on Friday, 9 p.m. sharp. Eastern Standard Time. Twitter, In the Lab Room is the Twitter handle. Email, inthelabroom@gmail.com. If you want to hit me up, just leave a message on that open forum. If you're watching live, I will see your message. I will respond to it. Again, this is for everybody. I don't give a ham sandwich who you are. If you got something to say, I'm listening. But I'm definitely going to do a hell of a lot of talking. So I'll see you then. Have a good one. Be there on Friday. We've got a lot to talk about.
The Redskins Report.